Hello, I'm Jennifer Sandlin, and I am going to show you my online module for this course. I teach high school history. My two main classes that I teach are U.S. history and AP European history. And I felt that AP European history has a lot of skills that are taught. And so it doesn't lend itself as well to the flipped classroom module as the U.S. history course does. The U.S. history course is very sequential, and I just think it lends itself better to showcasing this. So I chose one of our earliest topics, which is the settlement of Jamestown. And I chose this one because, well, it's short, but also because as one of the first topics, I hope to use this actual video and module the very first week of school. We're going back to face-to-face instruction, and I have a feeling that we will be on again, off again with that in school for a while. So my students will need to get used to getting online information and completing online assignments. And so I think by starting them out with this, with face-to-face instruction and showing them how to use the online videos in kind of a flipped classroom way, then I think that that's going to benefit them later on this semester. So my module is Jamestown. And if you scroll down on my module, I have my unit overview. I'll click on what that looks like. My unit overview is basically an introduction to the unit. It explains what we have already gone over and how it connects to the settlement of Jamestown, kind of sets up the unit. Then it gives instructions for what will need to be done during the unit. I numbered these. The first thing it tells them to do, which is bolded, is to watch the Jamestown PowerPoint overview, which I made. It's about 12 minutes long, and to take notes as needed. Some students need notes, some students don't. It's really their choice. The second thing for them to do is a discussion. And for their discussion, they have to answer two parts of a question. The first part being, what factors enabled Jamestown to survive? And part B, choose one of those factors that they think is the most significant that helped the colony survive. They can't see each other's answers for this. They have to post before they can review what other people have posted on the thread. And then they need to reply or respond to what two other students have said, whether they agree with them, and explain why. And it's very specific. The instructions say they need to include 3 or more sentences in their response. Okay. So after that, the third item for them to complete is an assignment. It's a creative vlog. And I chose this because I wanted something creative. The writing element was already there with the discussion post. And so I felt that this would be a good way of differentiating instruction with online instruction. So what they get to do is they make a 1 to 3 minute video in which they take on the persona of a historical character from Jamestown. And on here, I have a few choices for them. I tried to make sure that these were diverse, that they weren't all just Englishmen or English colonists. So that they can talk about in that vlog how their person would have felt. So they get a lot of point of view and perspective out of this activity. So that's their creative vlog assignment. Then after that, I have a couple of extra resources that are in my module. So let's go back to the module real quick and take a look. So this Unit 2 lecture, Jamestown, this is my voiceover. I'm not obviously going to play it right now. That would be ridiculous. You can take a look at that later. One thing I did struggle with is this picture on the front. As you can see, it's not my best. I have not been able to figure out how to get that changed. Perhaps somebody in the comments later, when we critique each other's, could give me some pointers for how that happened and how to change that. But other than that, I think my video is a good informational video. It starts out with 3 main questions. And I found that that was a good way to keep the video focused, keep the students focused, and myself focused. And as the video goes on, the answers to those questions are embedded in it. So when they leave the video, they should have covered those 3 standards, those 3 important questions they should know the answers to. And then the discussion hits on some of those questions. The discussion about the factors that allow Jamestown to survive come from those questions and from this PowerPoint. Okay. So after the PowerPoint, we said that they needed to do the discussion. And so down here, I have the discussion thread about the factors that allow Jamestown to survive. I included 2 pieces to it because that way they had some higher order thinking to do, not just regurgitate, oh, this was a factor that led them to survive, but to say, okay, this is the most important factor and this is why. Kind of putting themselves in the colonists' shoes. Why is it so important that this happened or that they did this in order to survive? And then the last little bit, this creative vlog assignment, like I went over a minute ago, is on there. And it explains to them what a vlog is. I assume that students would know what a vlog is, but perhaps they don't. It talks about reality television shows and how oftentimes characters have a confessional moment where they get to go and talk by themselves without any repercussions for what they have to say. And it tells them what they need to do, how to be creative with it, if they would like to give it a dramatic flair. But also to do some research, to discuss some events that this person would have gone through. So they have lots of choices here. They can be King James, they can be a female colonist, some names they might recognize, John Smith and John Rolfe, William, the first African to be born in Jamestown. So we can hit on themes of slavery. We can hit on themes of the way women were treated in the settlement. So they have a lot that they can do, an indentured servant and how they might have felt compared to how a merchant colonist might have felt. So that's 1 to 3 minutes. And then at the end of that assignment, I also have some extra questions for them so that they can consider those questions. Oftentimes when students are doing these kind of assignments, they might struggle at first to think, well, what am I supposed to say? So they have these questions that they can consider, and that will help them get going on their vlog. Down below the assignment, my last 2 links are ones that are not required in the instructions, but I thought it was interesting. A lot of times you'll have students who really like a certain topic or a time period. Maybe they visited Jamestown, their parents took them, or maybe they want to visit Jamestown. They like the colonial era. And so I picked a couple of extra resources that might help them out. So you've got this Jamestown fort map. This is actually from an archaeology site, and it shows the different archaeological digs at the fort, and it tells you what each area was used for. So I thought that was really neat. It's nothing that requires any kind of assignment with it. It's just something neat to go through, especially for students who have been there before. They might want to see some of the areas or want to go there. And then the second resource I have here is just a 5-minute video clip from the History Channel talking about Jamestown, just to give them a little review and maybe a little bit of extra information, a different way of seeing the information than just hearing it from me and viewing a PowerPoint. So this is my module. I welcome critique to it, but I hope to use it this fall, and we'll see if we get to do some face-to-face instruction or if we get a mixture going on this fall.